Please be seated. I would ask that the audience and the class of 1985 respect their class members, to allow that each member of this class be recognized and heard during this commencement ceremony. I have seen already some beach balls. If we cannot proceed with a ceremony that will be a credit to Terra High School, we will have to stop it. I'd now like to introduce the president of the senior class of 1985. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Richard Four, and I'm Senior Class President of Terra High School. And on behalf of the graduating class of 1985, I would like to welcome you to this special occasion. Graduation is a culmination of all the efforts that we have brought forth these past 4 years. We entered Terra with feelings of anxiety and apprehension, but as the years dragged on, we became more relaxed and began to look forward to the future. Our outlook upon high school career became brighter, and as we grew older, we also matured. We have become more independent and have taken on more responsibilities, but none as large as we are about to embark upon. Our graduating from Terra High School is a stepping stone towards a successful future. To help us with this goal, we have developed our educational skills in order to make a significant contribution to our society. We are the future, and we can do anything that we set our minds to. A previous example of our ability to overcome obstacles was evident within our construction of the homecoming float. Our ingenuity enabled us to construct a train using approximately 1,200 aluminum cans. It may not be an earth-shaker, but it's a beginning. I have confidence in our class. We have a spirit and camaraderie which cannot be compared to any of the previous classes. We have built many strong friendships. The memories we have developed over the past 4 years will be cherished for the rest of our lives. Graduating from Terra High School is an experience we will only have once, hopefully. We should savor it and be thankful to our families, friends, and teachers for their dedicated support. Goodbye, Terra. Thank you.
Now, class valedictorian, Gail Rodich.
Members of the faculty, classmates, women, and of course, non-women, the meaning of the valedictory is quite simple and somewhat sad. It is to say farewell. It reminds us that graduation is not only a time to plan for the future, but a time to assess what has been accomplished. We came to Terra as individuals from varied backgrounds, overwhelmed by the size of our class. During the past 4 years, we have become a community. One of the ways in which a community grows is by working together to overcome challenges. The administration obligingly provided us with a multitude of decisions that caused us to unite. We felt compelled to help them understand the virtues of democracy and the wisdom of the peasantry. Our presence here tonight in this auditorium is a result of our class decision to counter the administration's plan to hold graduation ceremonies in the school amphitheater. Because of our unity, we were also able to persuade the school to reopen the senior court in the area that has been closed for several years. Seniors gather there to eat lunch, play frisbee, and listen to music. I must say, however, that all of our battles were not as successful. We tried to regain the senior parking privilege on campus, but that was not to be. To compensate, enterprising seniors were forced to find new and inventive ways of parking their cars. In so doing, we also managed to contribute heavily to the city of Santa Fe through the cost of our parking tickets. Most important of all the issues was that of saving Terra Linda High School. This is the year that Terra Linda changed from being an old pile to a beloved old pile. Our classmates joined with parents in voicing their conviction that Terra Linda should continue to exist as an important part of the community. After a well-publicized confrontation with the school board, we prevailed. All of these unified efforts were made by a class notable for its rich diversity. We have students with varied interests, economic and social backgrounds, and geographic and ethnic origins. A friend of mine who attends a private school in the East visited our school this year. She was amazed, and I believe a bit envious, that a class with such differences still had warm, supportive friendships and unity. Perhaps in the long run, of all the lessons we have learned here at Terra Linda, that is the most important. For if we, as diverse individuals, can work together as a whole to bring about change, then this may be a pattern for what we can achieve after graduation. We will leave here with the knowledge that divergent groups can and must work together to achieve common goals. Because this year marks the 40th anniversary of the end of World War II, we are reminded that only by striving to attain understanding and accord among the diverse nations of the world can we avoid repeating the tragedy of war. Acceptance of others and working together is essential for peace and the best hope for mankind. As it says in the Bible, "Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." But now it is time for me to perform my assigned task. I must say farewell to the administration and staff of Terra Linda High School who helped us and guided us, to all of you who have come to join in the celebration of this important day, and especially to my classmates of the class of 1985. May we meet again someday to tell stories of our successes and to relive the smiles and laughter that we once shared. Farewell, friends.
And now, class salutatorian, Rafi Kasarjan.
Friends, parents, honored guests, and fellow graduates, I came to this country with a dream, and now that dream has become reality. We are graduating from one of the finest high schools in California with the most incredible senior class in the world. The completion of high school is one of the most important milestones in our lives because for the first time, we have to make our own decisions. We have to assert our individuality. I say this because in a world of computers, mass statistics, mass voting blocks, hippies, yuppies, and the like, the individual seems to be engulfed by the sea of groups of people around him. Attending Terra Linda is an important step on the way to becoming an individual. Terra Linda offers an excellent core program as well as a variety of electives and non-strictly academic courses. Because of this, we have among the graduating class today accomplished writers, painters, musicians, typists, mechanics, carpenters, and athletes. Terra Linda has many things to offer, and it is the responsibility of each student to decide how to take advantage of it. By doing so, each person becomes an individual, and the successful result of this transformation sits before you tonight. Our class has also proven its individuality through academic excellence. There is so much talk about the fact that public schools don't have enough money to offer a curriculum that will match the private schools. I think that Terra Linda has an excellent program, and this is justified by the number of acceptances from our class to the best universities in this country. This program can now go on because of the efforts of the students and parents of our class who, in order to maintain Terra Linda's individuality, succeeded in defeating the issue of consolidation. I think that the class of '85 has proven its individuality in many other ways. A group of dedicated seniors painted the big TL85 on the hill behind the school in the fall. This year, we had senior softball games on Sundays, and a dedicated group of seniors formed the nonconformist float and entered into the homecoming parade. It consisted of 7 seniors who had nailed their shoes to 2 long 2x4 boards and who walked very carefully down 4th Street. These flashes of individuality have added to our fond memories of Terra Linda. The most important part of becoming an individual, however, lies in the contact we have with other people. Friends affect each other, and each person is the sum of the parts of his friends and himself. We have to remember this, because when you come right down to it, high school is about friends. It is about people who grow up together and help one another. So as we leave high school and enter the rat race of life, we should never get so caught up in it that we'll forget our friends. People need people, and more importantly, people need friends. Here's thanks to our teachers, our parents who have had so much to do in shaping our lives, and especially to our friends who have made our years at Terra Linda so memorable and gratifying. Between all of us friends, class of '85, it's been awesome. And now, parents, if you'll excuse us, this is our last moment of glory. Mina, Yasina, Hauskria! Yeah!
And now to present the faculty speech will be a member of the Terra Linda High School Social Studies Department and the advisor for the senior class, Mr. Don Bowden.
Woo! Graduates, parents, relatives, and other interested parties, all of you out there, give a commencement address? Wait just a second. It would be an honor, yes, dear class of 1985, but wow, you don't know what you just asked me to do. And so I went home in a mild state of panic, and then the voice of a professor from my past was heard faintly to say, "When in question, when in doubt, find a quote to talk about." Well, first a few facts. There are 18 pages of quotations about education in Stevenson's Home Book of Quotations. There are 12 pages more in somewhat smaller print in a new dictionary of quotations on historical principles from ancient and modern sources. And in John Bartlett's famous quotations, there are over 360 lines dealing with education attributed to 96 different authors. Don't worry, I'm not going to quote them all. But let me share some, not all, of what I found. Aristotle, when asked how much superior the educated were to the uneducated, said, "As much as the living are to the dead." Alexander Pope wrote, "'Tis education forms the common mind, just as the twig is bent, the tree's inclined." And then Herman Melville once said, "A whale ship was my Yale College and my Harvard too." But we know what happened to Captain Ahab. And in 1795, Edward Gibson wrote, "Every man who rises above the common level has received 2 educations. The first from his teachers, the second, more personal and more important, from himself." And Lord Brougham in the 19th century said, "Education makes a people easy to lead, but difficult to drive, easy to govern, but impossible to enslave." And what was it? Oh, yes, Zazu Pitts in a 1930 movie said, "An educated man is a dog's best friend." And then M.A. Bakunin, a 19th century revolutionary, wrote, "Man can be set free from the yoke of his own nature only by education." And John F. Kennedy once put it, "If youth constitute the key to the future, the most direct, rewarding, and important investment in our children and our youth is education." Well, there is one other person I'd like to quote. His name is Mark Twain. And he stated in one of his more sardonic moods, "Soap and education are not as sudden as a massacre, but they're more deadly in the long run." But of course, there's always some anonymous 20th century author who had to say it. "Read me not quotations. Tell me what you know." Well, what do I know? Well, I know that universal education, free as racism, ageism, and sexism, is essential for the preservation of our democratic society. That has been, in my opinion, an increasingly evident truth, particularly in these times. And I know that an effective universal education of the kind described must be provided by schools such as ours at Terra High School that meet the needs of our immediate community. I know that we, faculty and administration, parents and students, and those out there soon to join the ranks of the alumni, must turn our energies toward maintaining both the academic and the occupational curriculum at their present high traditional level at Terra High School. The humanities cannot be ignored. They are the keystone in the basic structure of all universal education. But beware, education, like anything of good quality, is always expensive, and we must be prepared to meet the cost. But there are some things upon which you cannot put a price tag, such as these graduates in front of me right now. Oh, you have been, in certain ways, very, very expensive indeed. But we love you, and I, for one, am very, very proud of the class of 1985. I mean it. I sincerely believe that we have provided you with those skills that go far beyond survival in this world. You have before you a world that has no boundaries. Today, you are the children of the world. But tomorrow, you will have joined the ranks of adults of the world. Make your concerns those of mankind. Be forever alive, never jaded or dull or uncaring, because if you are, you would become a part of the problem rather than a part of the solution. Be aware of both the natural beauty of your environment and the helpless sorrow in the eyes of the starving African child. Become committed and act on those values, because values are not values unless you act upon them. Wonder, too, at the hues of color in the bark of a sequoia, and lose yourself in the geometric maze of a Pacific Oceanside cliff. And allow me one more quote, this from Joseph Addison. "Education is a companion which no misfortune can depress, no crime can destroy, no enemy can alienate, no despotism can enslave. Without it, what is man? A splendid slave, a reasoning savage. And those things you shall not be, class of '85. Thank you very much."
At this time, we can recognize some students who have achieved excellence in their education at Terra High School. I would like to ask Gail Rodich, the class valedictorian, and Rafi Kasarjan, the class salutatorian, to come forward. Rafi? Congratulations.  'Cause I got 'em. 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 'C The seniors who have achieved life membership in the California Scholarship Federation based upon grades through January are indicated in the program by an asterisk by their names. These students have maintained a 3.6 grade point average for at least 4 of the last 6 semesters of their high school in academic classes and have filed an application for membership in the Federation. I think I have some good news for some students. We have some names to add to that list, and I will read them now. Lisa Bauer, Susan Harris, Brian Lahart, Jason Lake, and Cameron Zanpur are also now life members. The following students have achieved 100% membership based upon the grades that they earned. And Mrs. Bennett worked very hard to determine these grades as of today. Brian Azar, Jean-Pierre Babka, Marjan Beyrose, Whitney Berryman, Matthew Botvinnik, Terrence Chuck, Ellen Dobbs, Hank Edson, Lori Garfinkel, Sherry Gosliner, Sharon Geldner, Kristen Hall, Cheryl Hendricks, Paul Humphrey, Paul Isherwood, Rafi Kasarjan, Allison Minagawa, Sylvia Newweiler, Claire Quinn Harkin, Gail Rodich, and Donald Young are the 100% members. Superintendent Dalton, will you please join me at the podium? Superintendent Dalton, as principal of Terra Linda High School, I'm proud to present for graduation this class of 1985. Will the graduates please rise?
Principal Edwards, as Superintendent of San Rafael City Schools, and on behalf of the Board of Education, I accept the graduation class of 1985. Let us proceed with the presentation of diplomas.
Rafi Miran Kisarjian.
Gail Susan Rodich.
Mary Ann Allen.
Laura Elaine Sykes.
Brian Azar.
Naomi Sachs.
Jean-Pierre Bobka.
Claire Marie Quinn Harkin.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
Donald Craig Young. Marjan Beyrose.
Jeffrey Robert Wiggy Widener. Whitney Joe Berryman.
David Veenstra.
Sherry Lynn Gosliner.
David Sachs.
Sylvia Ruth Neweiler.
Kristen Ann Hall.
William Charles Billy Bob Hammond.
Sharon Geldner.
Paul Andrew Isherwood.
Mary Alice Erickson.
David Claire Diekman.
Lori Garfinkel.
Ronald C. Donato.
Stephanie Gleska.
Matthew Michael Botvinnik.
Cheryl Ann Hendricks.
Terrence T. Chuck.
Allison Messiah Minagawa.
Paul Humphrey.
Ellen Dobbs.
David Cavalli.
Liz Bauer.
Andrew Charles Parnell.
Linda Leong.
Kaman Zanpur.
Cindy Stiver.
Edward William Nissen.
Susan Harris.
Jason Thomas Lake.
Brian Thomas Lehart.
Nicole Yvette Michelle Carbonneau.
Daniel Maloney.
Julie N. Chubbs Abbey.
Gordon Lee Muir.
Nuria Stimmel.
Jeffrey Marcus Lim.
Sherry Lynn Coates.
John M. Sharon.
Monica J. Bala.
Peter Carl Lewandal.
Ingrid Stack.
Christopher Lev.
Emily M. Effington.
AJ Peturia.
Sonia Margaret Shaw.
Michael Anthony Accurso.
You just say her name.
Deborah Lynn French.
Joseph Rizzo Lachlan. Stephanie Lynn Casey.
Rick Shinazaki.
Christine Marie Matisak.
Karen Elizabeth Macon.
Laura Ann Martin.
Naya Strasberg.
Tom Kane.
Kelly Elizabeth Byrne.
Roberto Guido DiGiulio.
Carrie Donovan.
Walter F. Dodds.
Marianne Lee Shooter.
Robert Tatum.
Shelley Bridgman.
Joseph Ronald Cagle.
Julie Ann Depp.
Per Carroll.
Carrie Elena Daniels.
Michael Bradford Klein.
Elizabeth Thompson.
John Richard Cuerva.
Jill Cheever.
Ronald Michon Knighton.
Monica Kraus.
Mark B. Chipman.
Monica Mo Vasquez.
Robert Silverthorne.
Andrew Michael Wayne.
Paul McMath.
Ava Bala.
Matthew Douglas Christie.
Scott W. Essig.
Jenny Merriman.
Paul Mason.
Darian Carter.
Rebecca E. Valencia.
Stephanie Barreau.
You stud?
Michael John Alioto.
Mervi Maria Valtanen.
Thad Squanto Summary.
Dawn Marie Wolford.
Krista Sarneski.
Teresa McGrath.
Gina Michelle Alberigi.
Aaron Michael Quino.
Amy Slime Mackenzie Schroll.
Jean Joseph Shreve.
Amy Elizabeth Asher.
Michael Miller.
Dawn Michelle Ruth.
David Simon Baker.
Birgit Christina Alton.
Thomas Arthur Stoltz.
Ingrid Summer.
Kevin Wade Schmudley Atkin.
Stephanie Perotti.
Peter Aylen.
Relax.
Olivia Alvarez.
Eric Paulson.
Nicole Marie Ottolini.
I am so excited.
Jeffrey Todd Annixter.
Helen Petrovsky.
Robert Franconi.
Susan Elizabeth Kane.
Jeremy Graham.
Chris McVeigh.
Kendall Christian Ralph.
Trish Midori Morita.
Shannon Fariner.
Rodney Lighton.
Tina Padovano.
You stud.
J. Brannon Buckley.
Do you got this?
Trina Harvey.
John Ferguson.
Deborah Wanger.
Timothy Lyle Verdun.
Amy Rose Trimble.
Michael Edward Schultz.
Jill Shanebaum.
Lisa Suzanne Katz.
Craig Robert Ulrich.
Darcy Lyanne Koss.
Paul DeGrew.
Michelle Therese Scafani.
James Anthony Bosch.
Paula Rose Raffo.
Sean Clark Curley.
Kathy Sack.
Michael Powers.
Eve Rebecca Rosen.
Kristen Lynn Marino.
Brad Charles Nicely.
Michelle Ann Jones. Michael.
Matthew Shallett.
Susan Mary Quigley.
Andrew Douglas Robertson.
Lina Paliseri.
Stephen Andrew Dunlop.
Ellen Payne.
Lisa Ann Lewis.
John Jeffrey Houghton.
Karen Ann Palisetti.
Scotty Alexander Frazier.
Paula Suzanne Green.
Paul Douglas Fox.
Rachel Eileen Paul.
Sean O'Hare. Elizabeth Roberts.
Thomas John Kunkel.
Sandra Comp.
Christopher Nardone.
Janice Mary O'Donnell.
Stephen Roger Peregrue.
William John Wickley.
Krista Cheryl Pollock.
Robert Paul Venencia.
Jenny Elizabeth Ross.
Carrie James Lum.
Bill Busher.
Deborah Lynn Dietrich.
Jim Bakken.
Cecilia May Owen.
Elizabeth Ann McAllister.
Gregory Joseph Otanes.
Karen Beck.
Shane Anderson.
Karen Halfstead.
Terrence Terrell Smith.
Jennifer Haney.
I'm trying to think of a name.
Edward Vincent Bosky.
Say nerd.
Happy birthday, Jody Ann Erdman.
Ross Pelton III.
Tamara Lynn Fouché.
Stephen Scott Boyd.
Pamela Ragstad.
John Edward Freitas.
Martha Joan Cover.
Steve Fisher.
Susan Johnson.
Matthew Andrew Dixon.
Do it.
Catherine Soul.
Michael Timothy Gaffney.
Anne Marie Greenfield.
Whitney Emerson Donaldson III.
Kathleen Ann Dudarian. Christopher Richard.
Christine Elizabeth Diane Franceschi.
James Kutcher.
Hillary Colette Cockendall.
Paul Reinhardt.
Corinne Merrill Jonas.
Robert Andrew Dahlgren.
Melanie Ross Lindbergh.
Cam Nedham.
James Elliott Freitas.
Monica Hegzenbach.
Lisa Gandy.
Stephen Miller.
Kathy Walsh.
Lori Luna.
Kim Becky.
Francis Lenartz.
Elena Michelle Wolfson.
Jason Alex Geller.
Kelly Crawford.
Stephen Summer.
Dawn Marie Haynes.
John Stewart Jones.
Kathleen Crichton.
Steve Habel.
Jean Didi Thorsland.
Thomas Guido Rocca.
Terry Lynn Beggs.
Thomas Tong.
Lena Egerid.
Michael Allen Becker.
Julie Marie Gedzi.
Danny Collins.
Diane Batchelder.
Damon Eric Heim.
Lisa Hayner Bursha.
Jennifer Maher.
Eric Gortner.
Kathy Rathner.
David Eichhorn.
Her middle name.
Wendy Diane Wilhelm.
William Swaybob George Jenkins.
Julie Maria Vessa.
Michael Ross.
Katrina Howell.
Jeffrey Todd Warpio.
Starlene Dawn Hill.
Craig Wayne Yahada.
Shannon Keating.
Jonathan Seth Zale.
Kim Thompson.
Garen Guilford.
Jennifer Lynn King.
Stephen Savosky.
Adina Locks.
Christopher Michael Marcourt.
Catherine Louise Mitchell.
Yeah, got it.
Frank Zedek.
Jocelyn Andrea Roberts.
David Francis Warren.
Karen Elizabeth Losi.
Tracy Lynn DeFrew.
Judith Lori Malkin.
Catherine Ann Reimer. Brittany Natasha Applegate.
Donna Ray Losk.
Shirley George.
Kevin Draper.
Charlene Elaine Cornell.
Dave Munson.
Donna Janelle Christensen.
Bob Ney.
Karen Ann Edwards.
Richard Francis McCullough.
Janet Harrison.
Thomas. William Thomas Mule Sewell IV.
Carrie Marie Canfield.
David Jeffrey Ernest.
Allison Tori Downing.
Anthony Francisco Giannini.
Rachel Michael.
His last name?
Craig Emery.
Christy Bush.
David Collins. Sandra Elizabeth Mueller.
Mark Anthony Wagner.
Jennifer Lynn Bishop.
Nelson Ten Stilling.
Trish Ann McMaster.
I really blew that last
Kurt Whitmer.
Brett Robinson Hill.
Chris Bishop.
Yeah! Josephine Inconvelia.
Christian Albrecht.
Deborah Ann Benicini.
Kevin Harrison.
Valerie Ann Dunlop.
Mark Wales Gubba Galbraith.
Linda Lewis.
William Gardner. Kimberly Ann Bealfield.
Christiane Connolly Regano.
Michelle Jan Istam.
Roger Dufresne.
Janice Lynn Nischa.
Lynn Ann Hollis.
Richard Maximilian Four.
John Hank Edson.